Hey there, everybody. It's Eric with BetterEveryShave. It's been a very long time since I've made a video. Less than a month, I guess. But anyway, I had a razor and soap combo that I really wanted to show off today. It's from a friend. I thought I would make my my return video, if we want to call it that, about that combination. But I need to pick a blade. So I've got 8 blades here, and I'm just going to use a random number generator to pick one. So let's take a look at the candidates. All right, so we've got a PAA Strangelet, Gillette Super Thin, an RK Stainless. That is a Nasset or Nasset. That is a Super Iridium, and this is a Gillette Wilkinson Sword. I think it's the Indian Saloon Pack version. We got a Willys, so those are 2 Indian blades next to each other, and that is a Gillette Platinum. Yeah. All right, so 8 blades. I don't have a way of filming the next part, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a random number generator and see what I end up with. All right, so the winner was number 3, which was the RK Stainless. Henson actually recommends these with their razors. I don't think this is the version that they sell. I think it's just an RK Stainless, but they claim that the tolerances on the inside are so tight that they fit the razor better, and Henson's all about, you know, aircraft grade tolerances and stuff. So it's good marketing, if nothing else. So I've used this one a couple times. So this is actually a 3rd use, which is good because that means it won't be as sharp, but be a good test for the longevity of the blade. All right, so the razor and soap today. I'll start with the soap. This is sort of a polarizing one. Some people love it, some people hate it, and that's right, there it is. I think that it's interesting. It's definitely like a classic sort of old time smell. I shared this, or I had my wife and daughter smell this, and they both freaked out over it. They think it's amazing. It smells so good. My wife seemed to think it smelled kind of like Nac Champa or something in that vein, kind of a floral, incensey sort of smell. So, and it definitely has that. I mean, it's not offensive. Is it going to be like my favorite everyday shave? No, probably not. Not for just the reason of the way it smells. It's probably, guessing, not as good as what I would consider like one of my better soaps. But hey, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what it's like. The razor is something that I've only used twice now. Which seems kind of impossible because I have so many razors and have collected so many. But yeah, it's a Fatboy. So yeah, Gillette, $1.95 Fatboy razor. So this is sort of, obviously everybody knows that this is just kind of one of those like famous razors that, you know, venerable is the word that sort of comes to mind. Everybody loves this razor. Pretty universally. The first 2 shades I've had, you know, I there's something about the Gillette adjustables. I have a Slim, I have a Black Beauty super adjustable, the 109. I've tried other Slims, and I don't know, they just don't really do it for me. They're not bad. I don't get like cuts or like, you know, irritation or anything like that. I just don't feel like I get as close and I don't know, as efficient. You know, I feel like if I turn it up higher, all I'm getting is more blade gap, and it really doesn't like I just think there's something with the geometry of these that is not you know, and again, obviously everyone else has great shaves with them. They love them, so it's definitely me. I can't blame the razor. And this one's in good shape. It's original from what I can tell, and you know, has all of the plating. I mean, there's a little bit of, you know, wear and scratching, but I mean, we're talking for being such an old razor. I can't read. My eyes are bad enough. I can't actually see the numbers. I'll put them up on the screen for you. It's in perfectly serviceable shape. It looks nice. There's nothing cruddy about it at all. It's a very nice razor. Both of these come by way of well, the soap was a gift, but the razor is on loan from the Okie shaver, Patrick over at the Okie shaver YouTube channel. Great guy. It's fun to watch. He tells good stories, and just seems like an all around, decent, fun guy. Someone you'd want to hang out with, that kind of thing. So I'll definitely link, to his channel. But if you haven't checked him out, absolutely well worth doing so. He shaves with some interesting vintage stuff, and yeah, good guy. And I really appreciate him letting me borrow the Fatboy and trying Arko, two sort of like, standards in the shaving world, and I just somehow have passed them by. So we're rectifying that. Now, I have seen people create monster lathers with this soap, and I at least hope to do it some justice. I don't want to be that guy. And also, it's surprising if you've never used one of these soap sticks. I've got a couple now, Leah and Tobacco, and like a couple others, I think. Anyway, it really doesn't take a lot. And this is probably already more than I need. I just am trying to get a little bit of a cloudy sort of layer there. You can probably see it, yeah. And for the brush, I'm just gonna go, I have a Yachi 24 millimeter, just has a Plissoft style, Plissoft, I'm not sure what the right way to say that is, but get a little water in here, make a huge mess, because I don't do this very often. Oh God, okay, I obviously had too much water in the brush. God, it's going everywhere. Okay, I'll be cleaning the floor after this. So first thoughts, it's definitely producing a heck of a lather, right off the bat. And again, you saw I didn't really, come on. I didn't really use a ton. And I mean, my goodness, it's been less than a minute and I've just already got gobs of lather here. The fragrance, it's interesting at the water and sort of opening it up. I like it a lot more now. Like it's sort of got a sweeter fragrance to it now. Yeah, it's really nice. Could I have been wrong about this being a favorite? I don't know. I honestly, I know I see guys go for like the better part of 10 minutes face lathering, but I think some of that is just self-indulgence. Shh, don't tell anyone. Yeah, that's that's plenty of lather. Yeah. So what I'm curious to see is how slick it is, and once the razor takes it off, is there going to be any residual slickness? So also, let's see. All right, so I think most of you are probably familiar with the Fatboy by now. Just a little line there, and you line up where you want it to be. It's on 5. I think 5 is reasonable for a first pass. Get the RK in there. It's kind of hard to argue with how, easy it is to to get a blade in there, and then of course the famous quarter turn. All right, let's see how we do here. Yeah, a little bit of tug there. But again, this is a third use blade. I probably used this, it's probably been 9 months or so. So I don't know. Actually, that's a question. Do you guys know that if after you use a blade and you let it sit, does it sort of make a difference how long it sits? Does, the air and the humidity, once you've opened it and gotten it wet one time, does that do anything to the edge? Especially again, if you let it sit for a really long time. I'm guessing that, a lot of us that shave with different gear all the time, I'm not kidding you, like 20 blades down there that are in some, I've had at least one use or so on them. And I don't, I want to use them for, I don't know, at least twice, maybe 3 times is usually what I do. So, anyway, so some of them have been there for, no kidding, probably close to 2 years. And the funny part is, I have a shoe box of razors, and some of them are the big, 100 pack, but a lot of them are just tucks. And I have so many tucks that I haven't even tried. I kind of got stuck on Tantra, and certainly not stuck in a bad way. I just, I really enjoy them. Tantra Platinums, they're by far my favorite blade. They work really well for me in any razor, and so I just really enjoy them, and so I use them a lot. I have a blade bank, and when I look in there, it's pretty much all blue and red from the Tantra labels. There are lots of other blades that are perfectly acceptable and serviceable, but there's definitely something about Tantra. I'm sure many of you, as you've used different products, have sort of settled on things that you enjoy, and blades are the ultimate sort of personal thing where, there's lots of people that like feathers and, Astra, and ironically, I don't like either of those. Anyway, all right, I need those. Let's switch this down to, I'm gonna get a 3. And maybe that's the mistake I've been making with this, is that I go too low. But I'm used to mild razors. Mild aggression, but efficient. 2 different things. You guys know that. All right. I personally think that the mark of a really good razor is that it is mild, doesn't cause any irritation, or isn't difficult to use. I keep seeing people are like, well, it took me about a dozen shaves, but I finally think I've got it dialed in. And it's like, is a razor really supposed to be that difficult to use? Is the payoff so great? There's no way that anyone's getting a better shave with one of those razors than I do with my Merkur Progress or Rockwell Success, or any of those razors that are so easy to use, and just do, do an amazing job. So I think people like the challenge, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine, but that I skipped right by that. I started, oh God, you know, the blade overhang is another thing in these razors. I get spoiled by not having the end of that blade, you know, jabbing into my nose. The 3 times I've used this, I've forgotten every time. And as I go across the grain, I hit myself. I haven't cut myself, but it's a little bit of a, whoa, you know, like, wait, there's a sharp edge of a blade there. So I'm kind of spoiled by modern razors not really doing that very often. So on 3, this feels very mild. I question the efficiency. I can't quite tell. I think, yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it on 3 for the against the grain. Excuse me. I have a feeling if I go any lower than that, then I'm just not gonna get a close shave. And I'm always in it for BBS. That's why I'm here. All right. So yeah, 3rd pass with Arko, and again, I think the smell has definitely grown on me, more so than tobacco. I don't hate tobacco. I don't think it's like hideous or stinky. You know, a lot of the comparisons or criticisms that have raised against it. But I think this is just an easier fragrance to tolerate for being sort of an older floral sort of fragrance. And the slickness is good, honestly. I know so little about it. I really need to figure out more about like the ingredients and stuff, because I'm genuinely surprised that I like this soap at all, let alone enough to be, you know, thinking that, oh, I'll use it again. So. All right. Well, I'm curious to see. So that first pass with the grain was a little rough on the down swipe. This across the grain and the this against the grain so far has been much smoother. So the arcade blade, and I remember the first use of it too. You used it in the Henson, and then the second use was in something else, and probably one of my adjustables, and both times it was fine. So the RK, I think, is it's actually pretty close to the Tatra for me. It's a nice blade. So I don't know how much the clearances and and all that matter, but the edge works pretty well. So. I had a couple people comment and say, "Oh my gosh, how do you do against the grain on your lip, your upper lip?" And I have to. If I don't, then I have stubble, and that's unacceptable. So it's really not bad. Most times, especially with my better razors, again, the Progress and the Success and stuff, like you don't even feel it. It doesn't make a difference which way you shave. So. This right here is the test of an efficient mild razor. It should be comfortable to go up against the grain and around the chin like that, which this was comfortable. But the problem I've had the last few shaves and with all the other Gillette adjustables is that's comfortable on a lower setting, but it's not close. Like I'll have stubble there, and then I'll have to go over it again, and then there's irritation. And so, yeah, just one of my, I guess, general complaints against these razors. But shaving my neck is very comfortable, you know. So I can't fault it there. And I honestly wonder, you know, when men tended to do like a one pass and maybe one pass with a little bit of cleanup shave, did they really care about it being glass smooth? Like, especially if you had to shave every day, like, I guess this would have been more than sufficient. Like, this would have been, you know, that first clean pass was like, as long as it feels smooth in the down direction. I think that was what they were going for. Yeah, just, I guess maybe our standards have changed a little bit. I don't ever remember. You know, my grandfathers would do that first pass and then maybe a little cleanup. But yeah, the whole 3-pass thing is, I think it's a little gratuitous. It's more the hobbyist side of things. If I still had to get out of here for work in the morning every day, I probably wouldn't dedicate a half an hour to shaving. I mean, why would you? So anyway, yeah, there's a, you know, it's fine. It's fine. But it's just really, all right, there's not enough slickness there to do that. So, all right, pick up pass. Just here in particular. I'm gonna try my chin again. Hopefully not get much of irritation. Yeah, the neck's all right for the most part. Okay. All right, I gotta go up. 3 is not good enough. So 4. Yeah. All right, 4. I don't know why we always have to show it to the camera like we're lying. It's not really 4. I mean, it is. No, it's not. All right, let's see. So that was the first sort of indication that this wasn't a modern sort of butter-filled kind of soap. Was normally I just get a little butter in my hands and wet my cheeks, and then I can just do like, you know, clean up. And even though my cheek was wet, there wasn't enough slickness to do it. So definitely feel the difference between 3 and 4. You know what? It's just not gonna, it's not gonna be super smooth. And then whatever, it's okay. It's good enough. Yeah, rather than sort of ruin it with over shaving, I'm just gonna stop there. And I will rinse and be right back. All right, this is gonna sound weird. Maybe not. My job after shaving is cleaning up the sink. Obviously, I share this bathroom with my wife and try not to leave it gross. There is a distinct residue on the porcelain. It is a very sort of tacky, waxy kind of residue. So whatever's in the soap absolutely has a different sort of feel than a Sterling, a PAA, A&E, all the other soaps that I use, which are considerably greasy and they leave a residue, but it's not waxy. So this is a different type of cleanup for what it's worth. I'm probably gonna have to get this water, super hot and sort of scrub it out a little bit. So it's whatever, who cares, right? But just something I noticed. All right, go with a little witch hazel. and let that sit for a minute. Be right back. Let's kind of dab that off. And so recently, my wife's been having some trouble with her sense of smell, and things kind of are a little overpowering. Even things that I would think are a nice fragrance or mellow, like a lot of my tobacco-based fragrances, they have been bothering her. So I'm trying to like back off of, I'm not using aftershaves if I can help it. In support of that, I got some unscented sterling. My only complaint about sterling is that they really don't have I guess I'm spoiled by the skin food kind of stuff that's in. I mean, even PAA has a really nice skin feel, and they have some skin foods, but then, you know, Hendrix Classics and A&E and like a lot of them have like, you know, I mean, you shake and it's cloudy, you know, there's obviously a lot of moisturizing skin food kind of stuff in there. And those are, you know, they just leave your face feeling so smooth. Now, this and then a balm afterward, perfectly fine, but it's definitely not the same. So I think I'm going to try to get, A&E has an unscented, I think it's called the formula or the base or something like that. But it is a little surprising that, so PA has an unscented soap and a lot of unscented products, but not an unscented aftershave. I wish they did, I would buy it. Yeah, not as much unscented splash. There's pretty much everyone has an unscented soap, but I like the feel of a splash. It kind of completes a shave for me, and you know, I've read all kinds of things about how, you know, for alcohol-based, there's much alcohol in this. For alcohol-based woods that, you know, maybe it's not good for your skin, and then some people say it is because it's the, you know, the micro cuts and the antibacterial quality, and I don't know. I just like how it feels, and I think I only have alcohol-based splashes, but I do want to try something that is I guess witch hazel based or water based. They mostly have water, even the alcohol ones. All right, well, there was no burn from that, so I had zero irritation anywhere. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put a balm on, which unscented again. I've been using the unscented balm for a while, which you probably know if you watch any of my videos, but you know, I definitely, I enjoy the fragrance from the aftershave. I'm not gonna lie. I like that amount of fragrance to me is perfectly acceptable, especially, I mean, for some of them, you're pushing into cologne territory anyway. PAA, some of the Sterlings, A&E, you know, a lot of them just have a lot of fragrance in them, and that's the level I like. Most of them fade anyway. There's very few of them, even the stronger ones. Like Haverford is one of the exceptions. Haverford lasts 12 hours on my face. But you know, most of them I used. So what I'll do now is when I have appointments out of the house in the morning, I'll save my shave for the morning, and then when I shave, I'll use an aftershave, knowing that I'm going to be too strong for my wife, but I'm also leaving the house, so I will use aftershave and then, you know, just leave, and that's fine. Then that way, and I feel like it's like a decent compromise. I mean, it's if she was using some kind of product that was gross to me, or like I just couldn't stand the smell of, I would expect I should have a say in that. So I don't mind, you know, that I would rather her be honest than be upset. You know, I think any of you who are married probably could agree with me on that. Really want to thank Patrick at Okie Shaver for letting me borrow this. I know it's not the most flattering review, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of people, and most people do, really enjoy it. And if you can find one in this type of condition, I think original, I mean, getting it refinished, sure, it's beautiful, but there's something about that original vintage. If you can find, you know, original finish, even if it's slightly marred, I think that is a more impressive and more interesting thing than a rhodium plated version. Just me, you know, I think vintage is vintage and vintage should stay vintage. But anyway, I appreciate your time. I thank you for being here. I hope you are well wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I hope to see you again very soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.